I would appreciate if, when I ask some of the questions I want to ask, that only young people would answer. See, now everybody will say, I'm young, so I said young people. Okay, do you want me to mention the ages? Anyway, now, which surah are we reciting right now? Young people. Which surah is it? Surah? Yes? Yes, yes. Yes, you. Yes. Ali Imran. MashaAllah. What's the order of Ali Imran in the Quran? Surah number 3. What's surah number 1? Al-Fatiha. What's surah number 2? Al-Baqarah. Now, in Surah Ali Imran, how many ayat do we have in Surah Ali Imran? Yes. 200. Now, what does Surah Ali Imran talk about? What's the subject? There are 2 subject matters in Surah Ali Imran. 2 things. What are they? Now, Surah Ali Imran, 200 ayat. 120 of the 200 ayat talk about interfaith dialogue. How Muslims should relate to non-Muslims. How we should talk to non-Muslims. That's in 120 ayat, which we finished in the first rak'ah of Salat al-Isha. And then in the second rak'ah of Salat al-Isha, I started to recite the beginning of 80 ayat that talk about a very decisive battle in the history of Muslims. A battle that started at the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and it still continues until today. It did not finish. And that is the battle of Uhud. How come it did not finish? Because the same reasons that led to the defeat of the Muslims in the Battle of Uhud continue to happen today. The same reasons. And those reasons were because the 50 archers that were placed on Jabal al-Rumat, on the mount that Rasulullah ﷺ told them under the leadership of Abdullah ibn Jubair, and told them, don't leave the mountain until I tell you. But when they saw that the battle finished after 2.5 hours, they said, what are we doing here? Why are we waiting? So they did not obey the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They did not obey him. And they went down. They said, we are doing the right thing, except 9 of them. 41 came down, 9 of them stayed at the mountain. And what happened? Because of disobeying Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Khalid ibn al-Walid, who was at that time still a non-Muslim at that time, he never lost a battle in his life. He saw a window of opportunity. And he came from behind that Jabal, and he came from the other side, and the Muslims, as I always say it, were sandwiched between the east side and the west side, and they were defeated as a result. Today, we are seeing forces from the east, whether it's India killing Muslims, forces from the West, call it America and Britain and Germany and France, coming from the West, and they are sandwiching the Muslims in Palestine, in Iraq, in Yemen, in Sudan, in Libya, in Syria, in Lebanon, everywhere. Because we did not, or we do not, or we are not prepared to follow the instructions, the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is why what is happening to us today in Gaza is happening because there are no people who are coming to the rescue, because the enemy is from both sides. So we really need to study those 80 ayat at the end of Surah Al Imran. And those, 80 ayat towards the beginning, as you heard in the recitation, it says, be quick, wasari'u. Be quick. There's no time to lose. إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. To attain forgiveness from your Lord. وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ. أُعِدَّتْ. For who? For who? أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Now wait a minute, I will not expand because I want you to go and do some homework until tomorrow, inshallah. أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And I will ask you a question. What is the purpose behind fasting in Ramadan? لَعَلَّكُمْ. Now, the noun is muttaqeen. The verb is tattaqoon. So Ramadan and fasting in Ramadan helps us to achieve taqwa. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that if you will quickly race to do what? What you have to do, you will be among the muttaqeen, and as a result you will be rewarded by jannatin arduha as-samawat wal-ard. Jannat, the dimensions thereof is heavens and earth being prepared for you. So for tomorrow, inshallah, please try to find out who are the muttaqeen. And by the way, it's not a mystery question, because the description, we heard the recitation thereof. So try to think about it. How can Ramadan prepare you to have the qualities of righteous people? Let Ramadan be a month of action. Where is, here's Mustafa. Okay. You said from the Quran, وَنِعْمَ أَجْرُ الْعَالِمِينَ. No, you didn't say that. You said, there is, by the way, in Arabic, if you take one letter, move it ahead of another letter, you will get a noun or a verb that is related to that one when you did not move any letters. So there is ilm and there's amal. The same letters. But in ilm, the lam is before the meen. In amal, the meen before the lam. And ilm and amal are so interrelated. And what we heard in the recitation, وَنِعْمَ أَجْرُ الْعَامِلِينَ. Not عَالِمِينَ. Think about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow, inshallah.